joining us today. Feel into the moment with your breath. We got here, right? Good for us. And we get to enjoy being here. Enjoy the breath expanding, not just belly, but see if you can notice the lungs aren't just, two-dimensional. They expand in all directions. So notice the low back as you're breathing in as well. See if you can relax into your shoulders. And check in with the structure of your posture, of your seated mountain pose. If you're leaning forward and that feels normal, readjust. Go back and forth until you find your neutral. Within the space of the next maybe 2 or 3 breaths, start to formulate your intention. Think about what you would like to get out of your practice. As you're ready, you can take those hands to heart center. Bring your chin down towards your fingers. Seal in your promise to yourself, your intention. Alright, and then we'll drop those hands and start in with the neck and shoulders, looking down, lifting the chin. Just bringing those nice, gentle, aware movements, mindful movements. Good. And then a no, side to side with your head. I used to say, no, it just sounds negative, but what if you use it in the sense of, no, I'm not going to take on one more thing. And that becomes like a positive. All right, so let's drop one ear over your shoulder. And then do those nice little half circles. I'm already over here sweating up a storm. Keep going mindfully, slowly with the breath. And then when your chin comes back down, leave it there. Lift your gaze. Shrug your shoulders up. On your exhale, let the shoulders drop as you're breathing through your mouth. Maybe a cleansing breath. One more. And then maybe a little twist to the right. Easy twist if you're taking care of your back. Get in a deeper twist if not. There's that 3-dimensional breath through the midsection of the body and into the low back. Inhale back to your center. Nice long inhale. On your exhale, start to go into your twist. Holding there while you're noticing your breath. And inhale, come back to the center. Let's lean forward, exhaling. Inhaling, coming back up. Let's do that a couple more times, just loosening up the low back. I'm going to turn sideways so you can hopefully see the difference between just leaning forward and then when we go into cat-cow in a little bit. So I have a straight back and then coming up. We're going to do our lateral stretch next, so let's go there. Let's start with our fingers on the shoulders. So you can feel if your shoulders are right over your hips, ear holes over those shoulders, and just tip it over. You can think about using obliques here. So I would be engaging here to lift. Engage. If you want more of a deeper stretch, you can reach your arm up and over. Activate through your fingers. See what happens if you do that. Hugging muscles into bones on those fingers. Does it make your breath disappear? And then maybe this is the last one. And come back to your neutral. Now we'll cat-cow. I'll turn sideways. Exhaling, arching, rounding. Inhaling, roll the shoulders back. Tailbone comes out. Little back bend. If If I could, I'd roll myself into a little ball there, just to stretch those muscles that run along the spine. Specifically, I feel it more in my low back, but it might be different for you. With movement comes release, and that's what we're going for. A less stiff back, right? So we'll come back to neutral. Let's see, let's skip that, do this, do that in my head. Let's go into the hips and the abdominals, not really abdominals, but the organs in the belly. So just taking your right knee, bring it in, stretching the glutes. If you're fine interlacing in front of your knee, you get that nice extra stretch for your shoulders. Exhaling as your knee comes in, massaging your guts on that side. And then we'll take that leg, make sure shoulders stay over hips, and we're going to take that leg side to side. And if you want to work core, try it without your hands. Good. Little circles. And switch directions. And an infinity symbol. Oh. Infinity symbol in the other direction. I don't know if I'm, yep, there we go. And then come back and just stretch that leg out. I'm going to sit all the way back, stretch it out, roll the shoulders back. How's your posture? Push into the floor with that standing foot. And then release. Hip walking to the edge of the chair. Ardha Apanasana on this side. So if you interlaced, switch the cross over your fingers. Exhale. Knee comes in, inhale, knee moves away. Feels good on the breath too. I can feel it help that exhale, get out all that stale air. All right, where are we at? Let's do side to side. Notice your range of motion. Getting some fluid in the hip joint. Let go if you want to work core muscles a little bit. Circles. Both directions. Are you trying to help with your jaw? Go in infinity symbols. Switch directions. All right. And then we're going to scoot back and extend that leg. Oh, all right. Come back to neutral. Hip walk forward. And back again. These are our stabilizer muscles in the hip. So we stretched them, we got them not really loose, but in that direction. And then a little strengthening. And they say we hold anger in our hips. So I'll try to remember to balance that out with some heart opening so we don't go away all angry. We're letting it loose. All right, so where are we at? Let's do our seated warrior one, also known as spinal balance. So I'm taking right leg out, left arm up. And you know, I think I'm gonna do a little heart opening here on this side just to begin with the heart opening in case I forget later. On the exhale, let's bring everything back to neutral. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Left arm's kind of opening into that half lightning bolt. Coming back. Keep switching your arms and legs. Lift. Notice where your gaze is. If it's down, bring it up. All right. Next time right leg comes out, both arms are coming up into that wide V or a Y posture. Use your core. Hold everything in place. Exhale, come back. And again, what is that? Your left leg. Bring it out. Reach through your heel. Open up through the heart. And exhale, come all the way back. Good. Let's take another lean forward. This time it's more of an arch for child's pose. Tucking your chin. Notice what happens in your glutes if you have any strange, unpleasant sensations that might be sciatica related. So you can back off there. All right, let's come up. We'll hip walk to the edge of the chair again. Wide feet. Lift those heels. rocking side to side. If you're in a position to where this doesn't work for your chair or your body or whatever, just turn your head side to side. At least you're getting some movement there. Let's take right leg down. Slides in front, right knee right in front of the chair. Everything's lined up, knee, hip, ankle. Same on the other side. Pay attention to the hip flexor stretch. Yeah, add that arm up and back, only if it feels okay. Use core strength, come back. Give a little push into the floor as if you're about to come up, unless you're taking care of that knee that's hanging off the chair. Just a little shove into the floor. I can feel all the muscles engage in the legs. I can feel the belly engage. Then I'm going to release back into the chair. And then come all the way back to the center. Wide feet, windshield wipers. With a head turn if you like. And then we'll send ourselves over in the other direction, lining everything up. Enjoying our lunge on this side. You can do hand onto your hip, hand reaching up. Make sure you're not putting too much pressure on that low back. Good. How's your breath? And we'll come back. If your arm's in the air, you can release it. Check in with your alignment, and then as an option, just give a little push into the floor. I'm actually not lifting my full body weight up off the chair. I'm just firing, if I can feel it, firing up around the muscles of both legs, and then release back into the chair. Let's come all the way back to center. If you're coming up to standing, you can do that now. I'll demonstrate seated warrior two, just for fun. Maybe you want to hold into your chair pose, Utkatasana. So different variation, sometimes I'll teach that push, squeeze. Different variation might be pushing into the floor and acting as if you're going to get up, just like we did with our lunges on either side. So I'm acting as if I'm getting up, but my bottom's still on the chair. I can feel everything engaged symmetrically, right? If you want more, bring your arms out. It's almost as hard as Utkatasana standing. Oof. All right, and then come back. I like to wiggle it out, all that strain. And then you guys got it, you need to get your down dog in. So if you're seated, do a nice variation. Maybe you reach your arms forward, or you come into child's pose. If you're standing and you want to take your down dog, to reach forward and anchor into the chair with your wrists, shoulder distance. Good. Right, and then gently come all the way back up to your version of mountain pose. And from there we'll go into our warrior two. So feet are wide. I'll let somebody in. Melissa was kicked off. We gotta let her back in. I didn't kick her off. So wide feet wherever you are. And remember, if you're seated, you can keep your toes angled in the direction of your knee. I'll demonstrate taking it a little bit further if you're interested. Got the right leg, just kind of going as far right as I can. Left leg, foot is flat. Knee can be bent a little as long as it does not hurt. Shoulders over those hips. Maybe a stand in confidence pose for a moment. Hands on the hips. And then you can shoot those arms out, get nice and strong. And just for variety, I'm opening and closing my fingers as wide as I can, and then soften them. See if it affects the breath. On your next exhale, float those arms down. Good. Come all the way back to neutral mountain pose. Maybe mountain pose with your hands on your hips, Wonder Woman pose, Superman pose. And then we'll go back out. Let's take it to the other side. Wide feet. Left leg is in charge. Right leg shimmies back. And this, especially especially if you're seated, I tend to want to lean. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips. So you got that rectangle. And then we'll shoot the good energy vibes across the world with our arms and our fingers and our intention. Nice place to breathe in your intention here too. So I'm inhaling, widening fingers, breathing in my intention. Exhaling, softening the fingers, letting my cells absorb my intention. Maybe one more breath. And then you can settle all the way back down, not into your chair unless you're already seated, relaxing your arms, coming back to mountain pose. Good. All right, let's see. I am up for this challenge. So if you're standing, we're doing the one where we're going to pick up a leg as an option. Maybe. Wait, let's back that up. So I'm going to start with the hand, and then you'll remember probably where we're going with this. Start with that right thumb. And then we are going to start to take that thumb out and peel open our fingers. Watching, tracking your eyeballs with that hand, and then you're going to close that fist back up. Good. We're going to keep doing that, and then as an option, you can pick up that same leg. Obviously, it's a little less challenging seated, but it's work, I feel it. Maybe you take the leg out to the side, push into that standing leg. We're multitasking. Oof, that's it for that arm. Come back, take a down dog, seated child's pose. Try to soften into your breath, soften into your fibers. And then come back up. All right. Other hand, Fonzie thumb. Whoop. Start with just your arm and your brain, your eyes. And the exhale, closing the fingers, coming all the way back. Then add that optional leg lift. I think I need to speed my hand up. I'm running out of breath. And then maybe you bring your arm or your leg over. I'm pushing pretty strongly into that standing leg. Second side always goes quicker. When you're coming back, make sure you feel level, and you can come forward. And then we'll come back up. All right, I'll do some more demonstrating standing. Not that it matters what I'm doing, it's just mostly what you feel like doing, right? Take a chair pose. You're welcome to join me in chair pose. Utkatasana with hydration. Hydration asana. Okay. If you have been seated and you came to standing, take a down dog and an up dog. If you're still seated, try a little just gentle organic movements, twisting, up dog, pushing into your lap to lift up through your heart. Okay, let's take a warrior one. So I'm at my chair, behind it. Of course, you can see that. I've got my right knee is stacked over right ankle. Left leg is stepped back. And we'll try cactus arms. Good. Again, find the work that works for you. Find the amount of effort. So I'm taking it easy, I'm not going to get anything out of this, right? But if I engage all the muscles into my bones, widespread fingers, squeezing the shoulder blades, drawing the head back, belly's not going to let the back do this alone. So really engage that belly. All right. On your exhale, maybe bring those arms toward each other. If your balance is a little off, make sure your eyes stay open, your feet are wide enough apart. They don't have to touch, but they can come toward each other. Inhale, open. Exhale, come together. Last one, inhale, open. This time we're going to exhale, hands can come down to the chair or your lap, maybe a child's pose or a down dog. I'm going to walk forward into my up dog. Leave the left foot where it is, step that right foot back. Okay, well, let's see if this works. Take those cactus arms again. This is the only thing I know for shoulders that's beneficial for if you have a little injury. I'm going to turn and face this way. I'm not mirroring you with my legs. So thumbs are going to twist back and palms forward and then drop it down. Yeah. Fingers up, thumbs back, palms forward, release. How's your breath? One more. And then we can just close up that gap, open, and press your hands forward onto your lap or your chair, come back into your down dog. Engage your core, walk all the way back up, nice and tall. We'll step those feet wide for warrior two, seated or standing, right toes turn. Feel into your feet. You could just be there on the mat without awareness into your feet. So I love to point out places to become aware that kind of they don't get the attention that they need. So I'm going to pick up all 10 toes and then softly float down the toes without gripping. Shoulders stacked over hips. Arms can float out again if you like. So notice your shoulders. If you're leaning forward, bring it back. Alright, we're going into side angle. I always like to start with my hands on my hips. No reason. You can go right into your side angle if you like. So make sure your knee's not collapsing in towards your big toe. So you might even want to look down, make sure it's over your ankle. Yeah, take that arm up if you want more. Take your bicep over your ear. How's your breath? Feel any resistance? Maybe if my head wasn't so heavy, my neck is like, meh. All right, engage your stomach muscles. Come all the way back. Through warrior two. Big breath in on your exhale. Release your arms. We're taking down dog in between sides because that's so deeply asymmetric. I will love to bring symmetry in after that. Mindfully mosey back up. Check in with your intention. Like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. That's all it took. We can do that throughout our day. Like, oh yeah, I don't have to do it all. And go to the left, bend into that left knee. Make sure you might as well get a good visual on what your knee is doing. If it's collapsing in and you see your foot to the, let's see, you're on your left, to the pinky toe side, doesn't matter which side you're on, then you ought to bring your knee to where you can just see your big toe. Then we can bring those arms out. And I will stop talking. Side angle. Keep it gentle. You can be gentle and do work. It's all in our awareness. Gentle breath. Non-clenching eyebrows. Fire up your stomach muscles to bring yourself back up. And on your exhale, release those arms. We'll straighten the leg, turn the toes, and step it all the way back. Maybe chair pose this time. Maybe a wide-legged chair pose. Heart staying forward. You can wiggle into your toes. It'll tell you that you don't need to use them in chair pose. Weight is more toward the heels. And then when you're ready, you can come up. Shake all that off. Get another drink. Okay, let's go back to spinal balance. So if you're seated, you already know where we're going. Standing, we're going to take our glutes and work them. So I'm going to put my weight into the left leg, right leg's coming back. Now if you're taking care of that standing knee, put a little micro bend in it. I'm going to pick up that right leg and maybe the left arm, thumb facing up. So notice how much you're relying on the chair. If you want to tip it forward for more work, go ahead. We're exploring just while we breathe, and then maybe we'll do it with the breath. Let's switch sides. So weight is in the right leg, non-gripping toes. Left foot comes back, soft knee. Thumb is up on the right side. Not relying on my chair, relying more on the core. Little secret, if you're flexing that back foot, toes pulling toward your shin, you're getting more work. I say it like you don't already know that. You can feel the muscles engage. So I'm just going to come back and shake everything off. Little hip circles. Go around in both directions. Let's do it again this time, maybe with the breath. All right, we're on right leg, left arm, reaching. Exhale when you're coming back. Make sure you're coming all the way up. Don't cheat your body. Reaching, inhaling, and exhaling, coming back up. All right, maybe this is the last one. And a nice down dog. We'll walk the dog. She doesn't even respond to that. It's because I didn't say it with enthusiasm. All right, then let's come all the way back up. Take those feet wide. Another opportunity for core strength. Warrior two legs. Arms coming out, warrior two. Maybe a side angle with no arms. Maybe if you want more work, reach that bottom hand. So that would be your right hand forward this way or this way. Top arm can come up. You can bring them both forward, an alligator flap. Make sure your core is working, otherwise your low back is going to be like, stop that. How's your neck? I've had enough. Fire up core muscles, come back to neutral. Let's neutralize everything. Hip circles. You can feel that dry erase board effect. Ah, thank goodness. All right. Other side, so we feel even. All right, left toes turn, bend into your left knee, warrior two. I'm running out of breath. Side angle. And making sure too, we don't have this going on. Your head's an extension of your tailbone. And then play around with where you want to take your arms. Yeesh. I'm putting a lot of strengthening opportunities, aka possible strain, in the back. So don't let that core go on vacation. Alligator, maybe one more, maybe you're done. Fire up stomach muscles, come back. And then we will go into down dog and up dog. So child's pose and then into a nice heart lift if you're seated. Looking forward, lifting up through the heart. All right, let's do pyramid pose. Been working on that. All right, so right leg's in front, left leg's in back. If you're seated, slide your right heel forward and keep it on the floor, flexing those toes. Hands, let's start our hands on the hips. And then today we're going to really focus on paying attention to what that foot is doing. So lifting 10 toes, engaging the rest of that foot into the floor. And then we'll start to lean forward. Of course, you can play around, go back and forth if you want to work into it. If you're ready to hold, then hold it's not quite passive. I feel actively like I'm pulling this right hip back and this left hip forward. And we'll do something a little different after we come out of pyramid. I'm going to take the hands to the chair, step the back foot back a little bit, and just take that like a low runner's lunge. Get the left knee bent, right toes are coming up. So basically like the seated variation. You get to stretch the hamstrings, which feels great. All right, let's switch our legs. So remember not to take your feet too far apart. All right, nice and tall. Exhale, hinging forward a little or a lot. Inhaling, coming up. We just did 2. You can do however many you did on the other side, and then hold. Pick up your toes. Pay attention to what feels solid on the floor. Meaning, if you're leaning toward pinky toe side or big toe side, it's a great place to become aware. Actively reaching left hip back, right hip forward. And then when you're ready to come up, hands give us some support. I'm going to take a little step back with that right foot, hinge the hips back, toes pulling back, stretching into the what are those called back there? Hamstrings. Brain fog, what? All right, come all the way back up. We'll lift and lower into the heels. Good posture. All right, look at us go. And then maybe you add the rest of your foot coming up. So I like to say just lift your toes, but I don't feel the balls of the feet down either. So I'm lifting everything I can when the heels are dropped. 2 more. And then you can shake that off. We're going to try the same challenge we did last Friday. So maybe you guys spent the whole weekend practicing, and some of you guys haven't done this before. I'm going to go super slow. I think it might be easier if you think about lining your wrists up, and I'm bending at the wrist. Doesn't matter which hand you bring, palm forward, and the other one is palm facing you. And then switch. My arms are nice and straight, because it just helps to, we're getting that nice little stretch, as opposed to here that's kind of taking the easy way out. All right, easy, right? Are you still breathing? All right, now I'm not going to mirror you. I'm just going to take my right hand. I don't know why my brain wants to start with my right hand on top, so I'm going to shift it sideways. I guess my wrists aren't really lined up. My palms are lined up. So one palm's facing, bottom hand, palm facing me. Top hand, palm facing away, and then switch. Hands don't even have to touch. They're stacked. Leave your whatever hand is on top, you leave it up there. Whatever hand is on the bottom, you leave it. I'm just doing this, right? But opposite. All right. Now my bottom palm is away. I'm going to flip the hands. I'm experimenting. If I shut my mouth and just do it, maybe it gets easier. Oh, I'm trying to record this. Start over, and then we'll run through it kind of on a quicker variation. Shake it out. All right. Give yourself a nice pat on the back and it's good for circulation, so you might as well turn that into that nice little massage there. Work your way all the way down into your fingers. Whoosh. Oh, the other side. Oh, that feels good. All the way down into your fingers. Whoosh. Throw it on the floor. And then we'll do our interlacing our fingers, tension release for the upper back and neck. Seated or standing, I'm coming down to seated. Interlace your fingers. Stretch those palms away, tuck your chin. Finish your exhale on your inhale, lift. Exhale, release, turn your head one way. Back to interlacing fingers, stretch it out, exhale here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release, turn your head the other way. And then we can go into fish pose, so we can balance all that head turning with a heart lift. So if you were not seated, you might want to come down to seated pose. Seated mountain, press your hands into your chair, lift up through your heart. Chin can lift a little. Bring your breath not just into shallow belly area, but all the way up if you can. Find a neutral place for your head, your shoulders, coming back to mountain pose. On your exhale, child's pose. With your chin tucked if you can. So bring into that as much of a gentle arch into your back as you're willing to take. And then we'll come back up. All right, one more fish pose. Pressing into the chair, lifting up through the heart. The throat gets some love with the breath, with the intention. And then we'll neutralize, chin toward parallel to the floor. Exhaling, coming forward. On your next inhale, perhaps we bring that right leg with us. Bring it up, just like before. Flex that foot. We'll demonstrate if you're not able to get into pigeon pose, keeping your foot there and just angling your knee out to the side. And then in order to bring a tight hip into pigeon, maybe you hold it the whole time. Maybe you get that ankle to slide underneath your knee. And if you're here and you're not feeling a stretch in your hip, hinge forward if you want to, if you want to feel it. That's your breath. And then we'll come up. Hi, Claire. Release that knee. We've been in the habit of giving some extra nourishment to that knee. So let's keep that up. Massage into, around, behind. And your dog's behind. And then let's pigeon on the other side. Left knee's turned to hug up. Same rules apply. Get nice and tall, soften into your breath. Come up, unfold that leg, stretch it out, give some love to that knee. Right, let's do a little core. We'll do our complicated one. All right, so we're working on one side at a time. We'll exhale, knee comes in, nice firm back. So none of this business. So we got to make sure the core is holding us up. That's why it's core work. Knee in. On the inhale, lengthen that leg like you're pushing something heavy away. Exhale, knee in and release. This way, same leg. Exhale, knee in, inhale, leg out. exhale, leg in, and drop it down. And I sit up tall here, so I don't know if you noticed it. I lean back because it's more work. And drop it down and then come up. It's like a little miniature break when you're coming back up. And when your brain gets used to it, if it ever does, exhale, knee in, inhale, lengthen, exhale in, inhale, lower. It's kind of a faster breath. And maybe bring in maybe arms and head. Maybe one more. Oh my goodness, then windshield wipers. Wide feet, heels up, drop your knees side to side. Swoosh, swoosh. All right, come back to neutral. Take child's pose for exhale. Inhale, here we go, other leg. Knee comes up on your exhale actually. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, drop. X, in, X, drop. Maybe add the arms. If you're feeling a little stuck in your neck, you can turn your head a little. You ready to juggle? One more. Drop it down. Let's take child's pose. And come back. We're going to stir the pot just to kind of loosen the back up a little bit more. Give it a break. Well, not loosen it up. We did a lot for the back, so I'm just kind of being kind, bringing soft movement in, go around in both directions. All right, and then let's come back to neutral. Square yourself up. Grab that energy, that prana, from your hands and apply it to the right leg first, brush stroking up, only up in the direction of your heart. Left leg, and the groin and the belly, back if you can, right arm, axillary, left arm, armpit, sternum. Keep softening, breathing into the belly. Take that tapping up to the mohawk line, tops of the ears, 2 or 3 times. And then find your thumbs pretty strongly at the base of your skull. Get that little massage. All right, peace fingers. Index finger tucks behind your earlobe. Middle finger in front. Then the little circles, forward and back. We'll lighten the pressure, find your jawbone, let the bottom of your jawbone to your chin. Lightly brush stroking down, throat to the heart. And you get to find yourself getting extra comfortable, and that might mean bringing a blanket or putting your jacket back on or slippers or something. So as we settle in and find stillness, oh, you know what? We didn't twist. Yeah, we did. Okay. As we find stillness, the body cools off. Settling back, feeling the support of your chair, and feeling appreciative that you have a nice chair to sit in, and that we have Zoom. So like many people, I find myself wanting to control a lot of stuff. And I know one of the things that I love to control is the breath, because I know how helpful it is. So lately I've been practicing just watching the breath. It feels kind of like a new concept because I'm so controlly. So sitting back and just observing. So I'm stepping outside the control. If you want to, you can practice that for a few breaths. It's hard. Just letting the breath happen, and we step out of the way and watch it. And then we'll slowly grasp those reins again. And starting with the inhale, see if you can bring your breath into a breath count that feels comfortable for you. Maybe it's a 2, 3, or a 4. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, let it be the same number. So I find it helpful to breathe in and count 2, 3, 4, and breathing out 2, 3, 4. I had a student one time that would breathe in 2, 3, 4, and breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1, but she can't extend her exhales that way. So it's better if you start from 0 or 1. Let's take one more breath with the breath count. Go back to natural breathing and stepping outside of our control and just watching again. Observing. Without judgment. We'll take that observational lens and start to take a little gander around the body. So we're just looking for the sake of looking. If you feel like you're holding a lot of tension in certain parts of the body, great. It's a personal choice. Direct your exhale and the intention of softening into those spaces if you wish. I'll just name them, starting with your face. Become aware. Your ears, your whole head, your neck. Become aware of your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Stillness is ideal, but if you have parts that need to move, just move them mindfully. Notice your whole back. Noticing your chest and your stomach. We'll come back up and notice the arms from where they attach to the body all the way through the elbow into the wrists, into the hands and fingers. Take that nice, easy breath. And bring your awareness along with it into the hips and the glutes, into the legs, starting at the greater trochanter where it connects into the hip socket, all the way down through the knees, into the lower legs, the ankles, and finally to your feet. All 10 toes. Practice, 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 noticing mindfully how your body feels, how your mind feels. Practice being with what is as we sit in stillness. trick. Sometimes when I'm on your end and I'm practicing mindful meditation with no guidance, no speaking, my brain starts to wonder how much longer. So I tell myself, just one more breath. And another. And to make it a little bit more user-friendly, I'll say 5 more breaths as a suggestion. You can do anything for 5 breaths. From there, when you're done with your 5 breaths, maybe you go right on into gratitude, thinking of at least 4 things that you're grateful for today. Breathe into the feeling of gratitude. If you don't feel it, just maybe a little inner smile. You can start to bring little movements back in, smaller joints, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, stretching the arms up. And bring your palms together, down through heart center. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your practice. Namaste. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.